Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing tariffs. I was going to call it Trump tariffs, but I don't know. I'm not really interested in clickbaiting around about Trump stuff. I actually think Trump is probably one of the best, probably one of the most knowledgeable presidents on tax policy that we may have had in probably 30 years. And I know people are going to giggle at that, but I read a white paper from Trump's campaign in the first term. At least his people understood VAT on a more nuanced level than anybody I had ever seen out of the U.S. in all the time I've ever been over here. So, I think Trump is more with it than people want to give him credit for. In fact, I think his detractors like to call him stupid, notwithstanding that all evidence seems to point to the contrary conclusion. But that being said, the point of this video is the Amity Treaty and tariffs. Now, I'm not going to make any conclusions in this video. One, we don't exactly know what these tariffs on quote-unquote Liberation Day are going to look like. Let me also be clear. I think for America, this overall policy of America first is a good thing for America. I also think Thailand should be constantly maintaining a policy of Thailand first. Sometimes those things may come in conflict within the American relationship, but that's why we have the Treaty of Amity. And the question posed by this video, and I think we're going to flesh this out as time goes on over the forthcoming weeks and months, how does the national treatment provisions of the treaty interact with tariffs? And the question I'm asking is, if you've got an American Amity Treaty certified company here in Thailand, and they're producing widgets that get exported, quote unquote, back to America, are they really being exported? Because under the terms of the treaty, we treat each other's companies with national treatment, right? And American companies here in Thailand are treated with national treatment, so they're treated as if they are Thai, but they are American. They've been certified as American. And as I've discussed in other videos, most notably regarding domestic corporations and how that's defined under the U.S. Code, that created or organized under U.S. law is one of the definitions of a domestic American corporation. Well, the U.S.-Thai Treaty of Amity was promulgated by the Senate, or I should say ratified by the Senate, in 1966 over LBJ, then President LBJ's signature. Pursuant to the Constitution, specifically the Supremacy Clause, that treaty becomes, quote unquote, the law of the land of the United States. So at that moment, any company created or organized under U.S. law, well, American Amity Treaties are clearly organized under U.S. law because pursuant to the Foreign Business Act here in Thailand, generally speaking, you have to set up a 5149 type of company unless you certify it as American and thereby gain national treatment. But by doing so, you utilize the treaty, which is incorporated into U.S. law pursuant to the Supremacy Clause, and as such, could be, and I think should be considered, I think is, frankly, pursuant to the clear, plain language of the statutes, a domestic corporation. So how can a domestic corporation producing widgets for sale in America be subject to tariffs? It's a valid question. I know it's sort of strange and counterintuitive, but it's sort of the plenary nature of treaties that they can bend facts. It's sort of like bending the timeline or something in a sci-fi sense. Okay? My only point from this video is, how does the Treaty of Amity interact with tariffs? Because this is one of these treaties that just goes back so far, it was never really thought of when they've drafted these laws and they're putting out these new rules. Remains to be seen how it'll interact, but I think it's going to be interesting to say the least.